How's it going, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So listen up. We have to break down Nvidia in this one. The stock market just closed, so we have to go over how Nvidia did today. We'll go over the charts. Maybe if we have time, we'll cover the indexes, maybe some earnings that just came out later in the video. But first, hit the like button. Do not forget to subscribe and join the free email stock newsletter. I send out my top stocks weekly right to your email. That is linked down below. Get in there, guys. And with that being said, cheers. Let's dive into it. So at this point, you all probably know the stock market had a very good day today. We have the S&P 500 officially close up over 2%. We had QQQ, the NASDAQ 100, up 2.8%. The Russell went up 2%, and the Dow went up 1.2%. So we had an explosive day, and a lot of stocks went up. I mean, you know that at this point. Names like CrowdStrike, Palantir, ARM Holdings, Micron, Salesforce, across the board, 5, 6, 7% green days. And Nvidia, which again I want to focus on in this one, went up 3.6%, and we closed at a high on the day at least. We closed at 106.60, and man, it was a great day. 3.6%, almost $4 in the green, and that's after we tested $100 in the pre-market. In the pre-market, we hit $100, tested that point, maintained a higher low, and boom, we exploded into open all throughout the day. And it's pretty obvious here on the 5-day, 5-minute, man, Nvidia is reversing, right? At least in the short term here. We're putting in higher lows, clear as day on this 5-day, 5-minute. Today we took out the highs by a long shot from yesterday. We hit about 104.50 yesterday. We took out that high, we closed above it, and we have a golden cross on this 5-day, 5-minute and a push above both moving averages. This looks pretty good for a reversal, does it not? We also have a golden cross on the 30-minute chart. We're above both moving averages here, pretty clear as day. And on the 1-hour chart, we're starting to break out as well. So Nvidia, man, it's not fully breaking out, but we're noticing signs that it's starting to. It's starting to get there. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame, personally, I would like to see it crack above 110 to 115. Time will tell if it actually does that. But let me draw out this channel to show you all here. We're still in this downtrend overall in the grand scheme of things, but once we start pushing above the 180 SMA here, 110, 115 plus, that's where Nvidia could really start taking off. And that might come when a deal with China comes, right? We'll see how that goes. But one thing that is great, well, there's a couple things that are good here on the chart, especially on the smaller time frames, but we're noticing here on the 4-hour time frame, we did not take out the lows from early April. It seems like potentially the bottom could be in here on Nvidia. We had max pain, arguably. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be much more pain. But we had max pain early in April. The stock got to $83 a share. And then about a week ago, we saw some more pain. But the market's kind of getting used to now the trade war, right? The push between U.S. and China. And where it could get worse for Nvidia is if, well, overall, the H20 restrictions cause much more revenue loss than expected, or things get uglier than expected. That could cause a lower stock price. But think about if they ultimately lift the restrictions on the H20 chips. Do you realize how much Nvidia stock is going to go up if they lift those restrictions? Which, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen in the next week or two, or a month or two for that matter, but months down the line, could they lift those restrictions on China? I think it's possible. Call me crazy, or at least can they come to some sort of deal there? I think it's possible. And on that news, the stock will start to go up, because then it will start pricing in those lost revenues when the H20 chips were restricted, they'll start repricing those revenues back into the stock. The profits that will be regained now if the restrictions get lifted, which again, I think they will at some point. I don't know. Maybe that's wishful thinking. We shall see. But at this point, man, it's looking pretty good in the low hundreds, and I'm very happy with my buys that I've been making over the last couple of weeks. I mean, I have been loading the boat the last month here on the stock, man. It's by far the most bought stock across my portfolios. By far, individual stock, that is. I've been buying this thing like crazy in the low hundreds, high 80s, low 90s. I bought some more recently at $95, $96. I think it might have been on Monday, no joke. So all these buys, I think, are going to be fruitful at some point in the longer term. But even in the shorter term, man, like I said, if we get these restrictions lifted, Nvidia could start taking off. But that's not some type of prediction you want to make or invest based on. Who knows what's going to happen there. Even with the H20 being gone or restricted, the company is still very strong. The company is still growing. Yes, they're taking a little hit from that restriction, but overall, these are revenues and profits that will be regained from the other part of the, from the other parts of the business growing, right? And ultimately, if the restrictions get lifted, that's even more revenue on top, right? Which will be great. So that's a quick breakdown on Nvidia at this point, man. Pretty good day. Not fully breaking out, but we're getting there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe as well. Follow along for more content if you want to. I really appreciate you all as always. And looking at some other stocks in the space, we have ARM Holdings. We covered that in my video this morning. ARM Holdings did very well today, up 6.5%. AMD up around 4.5%. And what I said about Nvidia kind of applies here to AMD as well. If we get those restrictions lifted on AMD's chips in China, hey, stock could be going up. We'll see. And AMD, by the way, is reporting earnings on the 6th. So what? That's 2 weeks away, the 6th of May. It's coming up, guys. It's coming up. So AMD crushed it today. Pretty much every stock. I mean, you're not going to find a stock that did terribly today. SMCI, 8.8%. This one's moving. And now that I think about it, let me see. Did any stock do very, very bad today? Not really. I mean, JD.com went down about 3%. This one's been slipping for a little bit, though, so no surprise there. Looks like Celsius went down a little bit, which overall they're reporting earnings soon here on the 6th of May. Watch out for Celsius, guys. Very interesting name here. And let me see Google. I think they might have reported earnings. Oh, yes, they did, guys. Here we go. Google stock is up. We'll wrap it up with this. It is up over $8 after the bell here. So we are up percentage-wise about 5%. The company's numbers just came out. EPS came in at $2.81, which demolished the $2.01 expected. Sales came in at $90.23 billion versus $89.2 billion expected. So a double beat for Alphabet. Cloud revenue came in at $12.3 billion, right in line with the estimates. Search and other revenue at $50.7 billion versus the $50.4 billion expected. That beat. YouTube ads at $8.93 versus $8.95 billion. So missed a little bit on YouTube ads. But man, I'm happy about the stock moving up. Again, it's one of my biggest individual stock holdings. So if it's up 6%, 5-6% after the bell, man, initially as the earnings just came out, I'm a happy camper. This is great. So now we have Google pretty much fully breaking out of the moving averages now for the first time since the late days of January, early February. Google's been in a downtrend longer than the overall stock market. it's been getting hit for a couple months. So finally, it seems like potentially the light's at the end of the tunnel. We're getting close. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Hit the like button. Do not forget to subscribe. Join the free email stock newsletter. Check out the Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio, my real-time moves. All of that is linked down below. And with that being said, cheers. I'll catch you all in the next video.